Welcome to All Things Social Security. Enjoy your video.
Happy Sunday. It is March 8th. Can you believe spring is almost here? I've been saying this for 2 months, right? Okay, just kidding. It wasn't 2 months, but usually by Groundhog Day, I'm saying spring is almost here, rightly or wrongly. All right, it is Sunday for the Social Security roundup for the week. So, in case you missed anything last week and you have some interest in any of these topics, you can know that they will be in the files on YouTube on the particular days I tell you about. So you can go ahead and grab what you need if you need. All right, so this is starting from March 2nd up until Saturday the 7th. On the 2nd, that was Monday, we had, let me just see what I can read here. Because oopsie, that wasn't good. I just blocked myself. It keeps doing that. I don't know why. All right, so Monday we had, oh yeah, the first of it's going to be the 2026 updates to the whole function report playlist that has been built out since say I don't know 2022 maybe. I'm not even sure. I think probably 2022 when I started. It was one of the first things I did because I did it for my clients and then ultimately used YouTube to share to anybody else. So this particular one is kind of like an intro to that, and I just go into really why you have to take the function report seriously and how it can really, really sabotage your case if you don't. And there's a couple little tips in there as well, but we will eventually go through number by number in separate videos each, so you don't have to do the whole function report if some of the ones don't trouble you. And we will get those added to the playlist over time. I would imagine it would probably only take a few months maybe, but anyway, so that was Monday. Tuesday was a segment of questions and bantering back and forth from our February, I believe, the February 25th live stream Q&A. Ultimately, what I want to do is get the actual, at least some of the questions that were addressed in any particular segment in writing so one can search or read and then go right to that particular segment rather than not knowing really what's in there. But haven't quite gotten to that technology yet, guys, but that will be coming. So this was part 3, the third segment of 5 of the February 25th Wednesday weekly live stream Q&As where anyone in the public can come visit, come just watch or ask their question or questions. There's a lot of banter going back and forth. It's a very friendly crowd, so I encourage everybody to join. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday. All right. And then Wednesday, we had our live stream Q&A. And I also, because now I'm doing segmented replays so that nobody's bombarded with the whole replay. And I'm not sure if that's the best way to go, guys. So I'm just doing it to see if it's easier for people, if it's preferred. The big full replay in the whole conglomerate with just the silent pieces and the scrolling cut out of it, that is available to members if they want to go through that. Otherwise, it's available in segments to everybody. So the whole thing is available. It's just whether you get it in segments and then, do the 1, do the 2, or the whole large one, the full replay. I just thought the segments might be easier to digest. They're like usually 20, 25 minutes, maybe 17 minutes, depending. All right, so that was Wednesday. Thursday was what was Thursday? Hold on. Oh yeah, so Thursday was the first segment of Wednesday's Q&A. If someone just wants to go kind of methodically through it that way and not get too overwhelmed, that might be the plan from now on. Thursdays can be the first piece of the replay segments. Maybe going forward, I kind of have a way of getting them processed now faster because I think you guys have heard me note that sometimes YouTube will take 24 hours to process a lengthy video like that. So I do have another way now of getting it processed and downloaded. So that might be the avenue I continue to use. I've used it the last couple weeks, so that's been helpful. Friday was fraud law review. A special, Fridays is a Red Friday, a day of thanks to our deployed military members who, can't be home with their families like most of us can be. And of course, last Friday was particularly pivotal um, to me anyway, and to a lot of people I know with veterans and active members, I should say, in their families, because we are in a military operation of great magnitude and great importance. And I just so appreciate what they're doing to change the trajectory of where everything has been going, with no one thus far having the cojones to do so strategically. So I appreciate all of the military who is obviously putting their lives at risk. That's what military does for the better of all, and particularly for the better of the United States of America and all of us citizens. And I could throw in there our green card holders as well, of which my mother is one. Okay. And then Saturday, this was a little ditty I did up about the concept of withdrawing your appeal. And I go into a little bit how sometimes, you have a deadline for appeal. And if you miss your deadline, you are screwed. You can't just say, oh my God, I didn't know. Please accept it now. That doesn't work. So sometimes it's better to go ahead and file if you don't know what you're not sure if you want to appeal. You're kind of like, well, I kind of want to try to work, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you just have learned that you have a really bad case and you haven't done your proper due diligence to make it not that way. And you're going to need time to do that, which can take many months. Maybe while you're thinking about it, you file your appeal. And here we explain how you can then withdraw your appeal when you decide that, nope, you know what? That's not what I want to do. It's particularly helpful before a hearing if you know that hearing is going to slide sideways due to lack of evidence in particular. So I go into that a little bit, and it's a really important concept, and we have used it numerous times for the betterment of a client. It means we're going to do a lot of rework, and as you know, we don't get paid by the hour. We don't get paid at all for doing it until and unless in the end we win. And that is the end goal, winning for the client. So whether we have to do double the work to get there, that's what we're going to do. It's for the best chance of the client to get ultimately the award they need versus no award in particular. So, okay. So I think that was, yeah, March 7th, Saturday. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope the rest of your Sunday is filled with peace and meaning, and that your upcoming week is wonderful. And I hope a bunch of you get a bunch of awards in there so you can put the whole SSA journey behind you. Fingers crossed for that. God bless everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye.
Happy Sunday, guys. It is the 1st of March. Can you believe? I can't even believe. Okay. So this is Sunday Social Security Roundup for the week of, looks like the 23rd of February through Saturday, the 28th. I guess we're not at leap year. Okay. So what do we have? We had on Monday, this is a little ditty for after you win your Social Security disability, which I hope you all do. What happens if you had long-term disability as well, whether you bought it privately or it was a fringe benefit from your employer that you could apply for if you became disabled under the definition of that contract with your employer benefits? This has to do with the LTD offsets that typically occur, and it's something that you definitely want to know about. If you were so fortunate to have an LTD policy, you just have to know what the terms of that policy said, and we go through that a little bit more in that video on Monday, the 23rd. Pardon me, I have a cold. We go over the question of, do I have to take Medicare if I get SSD? What if I like the insurance I have now? So we touch base on some of the things you're going to want to consider when you decide whether to keep the one you have, if you can keep it, or whether to hop on board and buy Part B, pay for Part B as a person now eligible to do so, being disabled even though you're not 65. On Wednesday, the 25th, this was a Q&A with somebody, and it concerned if you are a widow and you're under 60 and you are disabled, if you are getting SSI, and then you apply for widow benefits, the whole transition from being able to have more options now in those kind of situations. So we touch on that. That might have been a little lengthy because there was multiple questions that were posed. The 26th, which is Thursday. On Wednesday we had our live stream at 1 p.m. So Thursday we had part one of the replay of that live stream, and it was just a thought to not put the whole 2 hour, although I think when we cut out all the silent parts, it's like an hour and something replay, because I'm not sure it's really helpful. Like, did people really want to sit through that? So, I mean, some obviously do, but I thought it might be more digestible if it was divided up. So we're giving that a shot here. So this is segment 1 of 5 of Wednesday's live stream. What I'm going to try to do is have a list of the questions that were reviewed in that segment. So then might be a searching way to do that. So no one has to really watch the whole thing if they don't want to. They just want to know that that segment has a question they might be interested in the answer for. We will have the other segments out, sprinkled in time. They might actually become an extra video shared if it seems like it's going to take forever to get them out because we're always doing other videos. But that might not be a problem, but it might at times be a problem. So anyway, Thursday was the first part of the replay. And I am going to make available to the members the whole thing. So if you guys did want to watch the whole thing, you could. And that might be for everybody. I'm not sure. But otherwise, we'll just break it out like this. It might be a little bit more digestible for people. Friday was Friday Fraud Law Review, which I had missed the week before. And it's also Red Friday, as you all know, thanking our deployed military members for doing what they do, and they can't be home with their families like most of the rest of us can. So for our Red Fridays, we always had Fraud Law Review. And in this case, it was a Virginia fellow from Newport News, if I recall, who pled guilty. So we put it all out there. He stole Social Security funds from his dead neighbor. Um, he had POA of that over that neighbor, I think, until he passed away during at the very beginning of COVID, not necessarily COVID related. And then it was in the years subsequent that he decided to keep those Social Security funds flowing. So we go over that, what his possible sentences, et cetera, and a little bantering as always on my part. So that was Friday. And Saturday, part 2 of the Q&A segment of the live stream from Wednesday. Wednesday, what was that, the 26th? No, the 25th. So we put the second part out Saturday. So that came out somewhat timely with another set of questions, trying to keep them down to like 20, 25 minutes, 18 minutes, 17 minutes. So they're really not something where you have to sit for a long time if you want to, hear all the questions and see what's going on. We'll see. It may or may not be a better way to do it. I don't know. But you guys can tell me what you think. Anyway, that was the week. It is Sunday. I hope you all had a great week, and I hope you have a great week coming up. I also hope that your Sunday is peaceful and meaningful, as is the rest of your week. And God bless you all. I look forward to seeing you at live stream next Wednesday. And please support the channel by seeing the daily videos at 12 that come out 12 noon Eastern Standard Time that are pre-recorded about the goings on in the office, some strategies that pop up in midday, and some other things that pop up or are shared because they may be helpful. Okay? So thanks, guys, and God bless.